can tell a couple's married when they do a lot of things together, they have fun.
If they were like holding hands, being happy.
I like it when my daddy gets with my mom.
Sometimes they go to different restaurants and like have dates and everything.
They are caring for each other.
I always see them smiling at each other and talking at each other, and that's how I know they're boyfriend and girlfriend.
When someone falls in love, it's probably like they get a little shaky, sweaty, nervous, and they don't know what to do.
Is that how you felt? Shaky and sweaty and nervous?
I feel shaky and sweaty right now, yes. You do that to me all the time.
Welcome to Fully Charged with Kendall and Sheila Qualls. Today we're going to talk about marriage, which is one of my favorite topics. And a little bit later, we're going to be joined by one of our Take Charge volunteers, Keisha Bryant. So remember when kids used to play house?
Yes.
A long time ago. Like someone was the mommy, someone was the daddy. And what we were doing is we were modeling what we saw in society and in our own homes. So we used to have an expectation that we would get married and then we would have kids. But the whole paradigm around marriage has shifted in the last 50 years, especially in the Black community.
First of all, I'll play house with you anytime. Yes, I do remember that.
Remember, the podcast is
yes,
PG.
But seriously, marriage across all of our segments in our society has taken a hit. Especially it's taken a hit in our own Black community. We're less than 25% of people in the Black community are married. So we want to bring that back. It's really extinct. And I remember growing up, it was nearly 80% two-parent families in our communities. And this whole idea of what welfare did in our system, the idea that the government incentivized women to have children outside of marriage, created a paradigm shift in the 50-year slide in the Black community.
Aid to families with dependent children, or welfare, literally changed our culture. After the program was introduced, we see a significant decline in marriage rates in the Black community. Welfare took fathers out of the home, and it normalized out-of-wedlock births and delegitimized marriage to where today we are nearly 80% of Black children are born into fatherless homes.
So at Take Charge, we send our volunteers to speak into after-school programs throughout the Twin Cities. We send intact two-parent families and their kids. And for many of these kids, it's the first time that they're seeing an intact two-parent family and in their communities. And we encourage them that this could be their future. So we want to help change the paradigm.
So they go in and they say things like, you should get married before you should have kids. And a lot of times these kids are shocked because that's absolutely the first time they're ever hearing this. Many of these kids don't know anyone who has a father in the home. And studies have shown that two-parent families are the best environment to raise children. They do better socially, academically, emotionally, and there are huge benefits to being married. Married people live longer, they're happier, they're stronger financially, they have more sex. Some things you get in marriage you just can't get anyplace else.
A lot of benefits of marriage. And speaking of marriage and something cool, we have Keisha Bryant with us today. Keisha Bryant is a Take Charge volunteer and a cast member of our recent documentary. And Keisha just got married, and she has a very inspirational story she's going to share with us. So, Keisha, I'll let you start it out.
Absolutely. So, after 16 years of being with my husband and 4 children, we got married this summer. And it's super exciting. I'll tell you a quick story. When I sent out the invites, my friend received it and she called me and she was just elated. She was super excited. And she said, "You're not going to believe this, but I've never been to an actual wedding." And my friend is almost 40 years old. And so for her to say that, my jaw dropped. I said, "You're kidding me." And she said, "No, I've been to lots of funerals, but I've never been to a wedding." So it doesn't shock me just because of the cultural aspect and just growing up and coming from a divorced home. We all weren't encouraged to really get married. I grew up with her. So, we did it. And everyone around us is super excited and it turned out great. And so I would just encourage more people, especially in the Black community, to do what we did and to lead by example.
That's great.
Great. So what did your, I know you said everyone was super excited. What did your kids think when you told them you were getting married?
They were excited. One was nervous because he thought he was going to have to be in the wedding. But other than that, they were all excited. And, you know, I'm just thankful that we did the fourth child that we had. She's only 4 months old. And so she's going to grow up knowing that her parents are married. And that feels good.
Oh, that's great. So tell us a little bit about the different way that you and your husband view the relationship. What's the difference between then and now? Well,
I thought that everything would just kind of seem the same and it was just a piece of paper. But you know what? We have a new spark in our relationship. In fact, he made it a point to tell me that every month on the 22nd, we're going to have a date night. And I thought, that's crazy because he's the least romantic person I probably know on this planet. And so for him to say that, I just thought, wow, I feel so warm. We have this different level of connectedness and it just this new spark.
Yeah. So what would you say to people who felt like you did about marriage?
I would say just do it. Just do it. It doesn't take a lot of money. If there's a will, there's a way. You'll make it happen. And if anything, do it for your children. Do it for the connectedness and just the different level of commitment that you all deserve. Everyone deserves a partner.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations again. And we wish you many, many, many years of happiness.
Thank you, Sheila.
What an inspirational story. If I had it to do all over again, I'd marry you again.
Really?
Yeah, actually, okay. I would.
All right. Well, me too. You know what? Just like I told our boys, find the right woman. She'll make you a better man. You know what? You have done that with me. So thank goodness.
That's it for this episode of Fully Charged. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, follow us on Spotify or any other podcast platform. If you like what you see, please give us a 5-star rating while you're there.
And while you're at it, if you want to know more about Take Charge, go to takechargemn.com. That's takechargemikenovember.com. And if you like what you see, consider supporting our organization to help us advance our cause to make America a better place. Thank you.